Most people don't lose to a lack of talent, they lose to a lack of plan. In a world filled with distractions, it's not the smartest or strongest who succeed, but the most intentional. So let me ask you something bold. What does your calendar say about your future? Because if your schedule isn't leading you, something or someone else is. Today, let's uncover how to reclaim your time, refocus your energy, and finally live with the discipline that turns goals into reality. Really on your calendar? Let's get real. What's actually on your calendar this week? Not your to-do list, not the things you hope to accomplish. What's actually scheduled? Because here's the truth. If it's not on your calendar, it's not real, you say. Health matters, great, but where's your exercise time blocked in? You claim your family comes first, then where's the dinner time or quiet hour devoted just to them? The problem isn't usually a lack of time, it's a lack of clarity. In your calendar, that's where clarity lives. It's where dreams get structure, where discipline finds a home, and where commitment is proven, not just spoken about. Structure over mood. Let your future depend on memory or mood. Let it run on structure, because the moment you schedule it, you stop wishing and start doing. This video is not just about a productivity trick, it's about a mindset. It's a way of living with intention. A method of designing a life that reflects your real priorities, not just how busy you are. So stay with me. Because what you're about to hear could be the turning point between days, full of scattered effort and a life driven by focused achievement. Time. The true asset. Let me share something I learned early in life. It changed everything. Time is the greatest asset. Not money, not opportunities, not even talent time. Without it, nothing else matters. You can have the best idea in the world, but without time to develop it, it stays stuck in your mind. You may have purpose and passion, but if you don't carve out time to act on them, they remain fantasies. And the truth is, we all get the same 24 hours, not a second more. Whether you're a beginner or a billionaire, a teacher or a technician, we all operate under the same clock. Time is equal. But used unequally, time is the fairest resource in existence. But here's the catch. While it's given equally, it's not used equally. Some waste it, some merely spend it, and only a few choose to invest it wisely. Whatever your goals may be, if you don't respect time, time won't work for you. If you don't manage it, you'll be at the mercy of distractions, interruptions, and other people's agendas. You'll either run your day will run you. Time slips quietly. Here's a bit of wisdom. Time doesn't shout. It whispers. It doesn't demand attention. It quietly slips away. A few minutes on your phone, a bit of aimless thinking, a task you didn't plan, and suddenly the day is gone. Then the week. Then the year. That's the danger. Time disappears. Silently. But here's the opportunity. If you choose to take control of it, it becomes a powerful tool. Time, when directed with intention, becomes your greatest multiplier. The power of focused time. Give your time to learning, and you gain knowledge. Give it to practice, and you develop skill. Give it to health, and you get energy. Give it to relationships, and you deepen connection. Invest it in your vision, and you begin building a legacy. But give your time to nothing, and all you get is regret. Track what matters now. Ask yourself this. Do you really know where your time is going? Not what you think you're doing, but what you're actually doing? Have you tracked it, measured it, protected it, like something valuable? Because here's a fact. You can't improve what you don't measure. You can't master what you don't track. And you certainly can't multiply what you never manage. A simple daily habit. Try this simple practice each night. Ask yourself, what did I trade my time for today? Ask honestly, was it worth it? Did it move you closer to your goals? Or just keep you busy? Did you follow your plan or someone else's? Time is always ticking, but it's not always working for you. You have to assign your hours like a wise investor allocates funds. Many people say, I'm just so busy, but that's not the point. The real question is, busy doing what? Being busy isn't a sign of success. Anyone can fill a day. What really matters is whether your time is being spent effectively. Spend time on what matters. Here's a phrase that changed my life. Don't spend major time on minor things. I realized I was using golden hours on tasks that didn't matter. spending diamond time on things that brought no value. So I changed. I started scheduling what really mattered in my reading. Planning, reflection, meaningful calls, and most importantly, time with loved ones. And gradually, everything started to change. Because life rewards structure, it respects order, it responds. To people who value time, time reflects priorities. Here's the final truth. Time isn't just a clock, it's a mirror. It shows what you really care about. Want to know your true priorities? Don't check your feelings, check your calendar. If your schedule is filled with trivial things, you've traded something valuable for something disposable. But if your calendar reflects your values, goals, and dreams, then you're not just drifting, you're living with direction, living by design, not default. So here's the challenge. Don't treat your time casually. Treat it consciously. Manage it like someone who knows that time, not talent, shapes your destiny. Every minute has meaning. Every hour has the potential for impact. Every day is a vote for the future you're creating. If something's important, schedule it. It's not on your calendar. Ask yourself if it's truly a priority. Words versus action. Here's a final insight, one that separates the dreamers from the doers. Priorities are not defined by what you say. They're proven by what you schedule. It's not about speeches or good intentions. It's about what actually shows up on your weekly calendar. You can say you care about family, health, faith, purpose, all great things. But the true test is this. Do those things have a spot in your week? Because if something's important but never shows up on your schedule, then it's not a priority, it's a wish. What's not scheduled doesn't exist. Your calendar is the real autobiography of your life, not your resume, not your social media. What you block time for, that's what you genuinely believe in. People often say, my health is really important. So a simple question follows. When's your next workout? The usual answer? I haven't had time. That response makes it clear it's not a real priority. Others say, I want to grow my business. Then comes the follow-up question. How many hours have you set aside this week for outreach? Planning or learning new strategies? The answer? I'm trying to fit it in when I can. That's not growth. That's wishful thinking. Here's the point. If something is not on your calendar, it's not part of your life. The quiet things that matter most. Of the important aspects of life won't compete for your attention, they speak quietly. Health, meaningful conversations, personal reflection, learning, and long-term planning all whisper. They wait to be prioritized. But loud things, menials, meetings, notifications, last-minute problems, demand attention. They shout, and if you're not deliberate with your time, they'll dominate your day to keep this from happening. One principle is essential. Don't just prioritize your schedule your priorities. Make aim. For what matters, want personal growth. Block time to learn. Want stronger relationships? Schedule time to connect. Want financial improvement? Reserve time to create, build, and solve. Stop hoping for extra time. Stop relying on leftover hours. Instead, schedule what's truly important as, if it matters, because it does. Busy isn't the same as productive. Some say they're too busy. But being busy doesn't mean being effective. Many people fill their days with activity but make little progress. They stay in motion but don't move forward because they're always reacting, never deciding. The reality is, being busy isn't the same as being intentional. Look at what your time goes to. That reveals your true priorities. You can say family matters, but does your calendar reflect that? You can say your goals matter, but are they getting your full energy, or just what's left at the end of the day? Here's a simple but powerful exercise. Take a blank weekly calendar, 7 days, 24 hours a day. Fill in your essentials: sleep, meals, work. Now ask yourself, where is your growth time? Where's your focus time? Where's your mission? Where's your margin? If your schedule has no room for who you want to be, then you'll remain shaped by distractions. You can't build something meaningful out of whatever time is left. You must give your best to what matters, not the scraps. Audit and align your time this week. Take a close look at your calendar. Look for misalignments. Are there areas where your actions contradict your intentions? Adjust them. Make room for what actually matters. Discipline isn't just about trying harder. It's about setting up a system, and systems begin with structure. That's what a calendar gives you. You become disciplined not by willpower alone, but by how you structure your life. So, stop just telling yourself what matters. Show yourself. Because your calendar isn't just a plan, it's a reflection of your values. Ask yourself, are you becoming who your calendar says you are? If not, then change the calendar. Start today. Where discipline truly begins doesn't start at the gym. It doesn't begin at the office. It doesn't even start with motivation. It starts at your desk, with a pen and a plan. Many think they need motivation or momentum, but what they really need is a quiet moment, a blank page, and a clear decision. That's where real discipline begins, not with emotion, but with structure. Holding a pen, planning your day signals a shift. You're no longer living by chance, you're choosing to live by design. You're no longer relying on memory. You're building a method. That planner in front of you, it's more than paper. It's a commitment to contract with your future self. Once you write it down, it's not just an idea. It's an intention with a time and place. From ideas to action, vague plans lead to vague outcomes. When people say, I'll do it when I find the time, that time never arrives. You don't find time, you make it. And it starts by writing it down. Here's a rule that works. Never start the day until it's planned on paper. Your mind isn't made to store everything, it's meant to solve and create. So don't rely on memory. Write down what needs to be done, when it will be done, and how long it should take. When you write it, you start to own it. And when you own something, you begin to respect it. This isn't just about jotting down a to-do list. It's about planning like a professional, blocking out time, assigning energy, and anticipating challenges. You don't have to rely on reminders. You train your actions. Planning is for everyone. Saying I'm not a planner isn't. A personality trait's a habit you haven't built yet. Everyone can become a planner. It sharpens your focus. Focus leads to self-direction. When you lead yourself, you don't need to be motivated by others. You simply follow the instructions you gave yourself. That's how you build internal discipline. You don't need a new digital app. You don't need complicated software. You need a pen, a planner, and a clear promise to yourself. Because when you write something down, you're not just organizing your time. You're declaring, this is my life.
Ow.
This is where my time is going. Build momentum with structure discipline. Doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It means you prepare. It's not about being strict. It's about being clear. And that clarity breeds confidence. Confidence builds consistency. Consistency creates momentum. And momentum leads to progress. But it all starts with that small act of leadership. Sit down, open the planner, pick up the pen. Start writing. Do it consistently, and you won't just become more productive, you'll become stronger. Because you're no longer living by habit or reaction. You're living by decision. A decision is the beginning of freedom, preparation. Over-perfection, being prepared, isn't about being rigid. It's about having clarity. And clarity builds confidence. Confidence creates consistency. Consistency fuels momentum. And momentum is where progress lives. But it all begins with a simple act of self-leadership. Sit down, open your planner, pick up the pen, begin. Repeat. This daily, and you won't just become more efficient, you'll become more empowered. Because you're not living on autopilot or making choices. And choice is the foundation of personal freedom. Start with a planner. So here's your next step. Get a planner you'll actually use. It doesn't matter whether it's digital or on paper. What matters is that you use it consistently. Every morning, every evening, every week. Make planning as routine as brushing your teeth, non-negotiable, daily, simple, and effective. The most successful people in the world don't necessarily have more willpower. They simply rely on better systems. And the first and most powerful system, the calendar, lead the day before it leads. You don't need to be perfect. What you need is a pen and a decision to lead your day before your day starts leading you. Because if something truly matters, It deserves to begin with a plan. And if it's not written down, it's likely just a wish. Here's a truth that separates the successful from the stressed, the focused from the scattered, the fulfilled from the frustrated. They write things down. It's that simple. They don't just think about goals, they capture them. They don't just talk about plans, they record them. What gets written, gets done. The principle is clear. If it's not on paper, it likely won't happen. You might believe you've got it all in your head, but the brain isn't built to store everything. It's a powerful idea generator, not a filing cabinet. Every day your mind is pulled in 100 directions, tasks, interruptions. If you rely on memory alone, you'll forget, delay, or miss what matters most. That's why you need a second brain. It could be a planner, a notebook, a whiteboard, a digital app, whatever helps you organize. But you need to write it down. Writing creates structure. When you write, your ideas gain structure. They stop floating and become clear. Writing tells your brain, this matters. It turns vague thoughts into specific goals. Here's the truth. Unwritten goals are invisible goals. Invisible goals get invisible results. Most people dream. Some dream big, but dreams without structure remain in the imagination. They're lost in the noise of errands, notifications, and distractions. Not because the ideas lacked value, but because they weren't anchored in action. A promise to yourself? Writing. Things down transforms someday into this day, this time, for this reason. It becomes a commitment. A goal turns into a target, a scheduled priority for your time, energy, and attention. This is how progress happens. Not all at once, but piece by piece, block by block. You want to improve your health? Don't just think it, write the routine. Want to increase income? Put the plan on paper. Want stronger relationships? Schedule quality time. Capture ideas. Make lists. Put it in writing. Because what's written is what gets focused on. And what gets focused on gets finished. The role of paper in progress now? Let's be clear. Paper doesn't guarantee success, but it lays the groundwork. It helps you monitor progress, notice patterns, and stay honest with yourself when distractions arise and motivation dips. In the beginning, many people have big hopes but no system, no calendar, no structure, and the result? Little to no progress. That was true for many until they made a shift, until writing became a habit. With daily planning, things begin to change. Clarity replaces confusion. Gaps in execution are revealed. Milestones become visible. And it all starts with one change. Putting it on paper. Keep it simple, don't overcomplicate it. You don't need artistic bullet journals, color-coded tabs, or perfect handwriting. What you need is a simple way to move ideas from your head into the world where they can take shape and get done. Because paper is where plans become real. It's where vision becomes action. It's where you start to direct your life instead of reacting to it. Paper doesn't forget, like your emotions or your mood. The page remains steady. A pen and a sheet of paper don't shift when you're tired or distracted. Your goals, your tasks, your priorities, your values, your lessons, your commitments. Track your follow-through. Treat the paper like a mirror reflecting not just who you are, but who you're becoming. The first step to real change in the end, it's not your ideas that change your life, it's your plans. It's what you schedule. It's what you do. And the first step is this. Get it out of your head and onto the page. Because if it matters, if it's truly important, it belongs in writing. If it's not written down, it's likely just a wish. And remember, consistency is born from repetition, and repetition requires structure. Success is built through daily disciplines. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's not born out of rare moments of inspiration or yearly resolutions. It's shaped by the consistent actions you repeat daily. This is where the real power lies: consistency. Everyone wants to see results. Everyone wants progress and big breakthroughs. But few are willing to commit to the same small habits every single day. That's where most people fall short. Consistency is the link between wanting something and actually achieving it. Why repetition needs structure, however, consistency doesn't just appear, it grows from repetition, and repetition needs a structure to thrive. Without a framework, It's difficult. To stay consistent, many people wake up and wait to feel motivated. They wait for the right mindset, the perfect conditions. But this is a flawed approach. Motivation is a temporary spark. Structure is what keeps the fire burning. You don't brush your teeth because you're inspired. You do it because it's part of your daily system. The same idea applies to your business, health, education, and relationships. Build systems. Not just goals to maintain consistency. You need to put your habits into a system, schedule them, write them down, and then repeat. A reliable formula that always works is structure gives repetition, gives momentum, gives results. If there is no structure, there will be no repetition. Without repetition, consistency fades. And without consistency, success becomes difficult to reach. What do you want to be consistent at? Ask yourself, what area of your life do you want to be more consistent in? Reading, exercising, growing your business? None of these will happen by accident. Reading becomes a habit when it's scheduled. Exercise becomes routine when it's blocked out in your calendar. Business builds when there's a daily time slot dedicated to it. You need to create the right environment that supports the behaviors you're aiming to develop. Structure isn't about strict rules, it's about providing support, like scaffolding. That helps a building hold shape as it grows stronger. Strength comes with repetition in the beginning. Repetition needs support. You may not feel strong or natural at first, but repeated effort builds strength. Over time, repetition turns into rhythm, and rhythm turns into identity. You do something once, there's no real change. Do it 10 times, it starts to become familiar. Do it 100 times, it becomes part of who you are. The role of practice and identity. If you're wondering how to gain more confidence, repeat your actions. Show up consistently. Practice builds confidence. The same applies to focus. You build focus by designing structure, removing distractions, and sticking to a schedule. The truth is, the difference between amateurs and professionals isn't just talent, it's discipline and consistency. Professionals show up consistently, and consistency grows from repetition, which only happens within structured systems. From habits to automatic results. You want results that feel effortless. You need habits that run on autopilot. And that kind of automatic behavior only comes from intentional planning. So what's the takeaway? If there's an area of your life you want to improve, whether it's your health, finances, knowledge, or a sense of purpose, don't leave it to chance. Give it time. Give it a method. Make it part of your daily routine. Your weekly challenge here is a simple challenge. Choose one area of your life you want to strengthen. Block 15 minutes for it in your calendar. Same task? Every day for the next 30 days. Repetition will change your identity. When you do something long enough, often enough, you don't just try to become someone, you start being that person. You don't get what you want. You get what you're ready for. Here's one of life's hard truths. You don't get what you wish for. You get what you're prepared for. Opportunity doesn't show up because you hope it will. It arrives when you're truly ready to receive it. That's the difference between people who succeed and those who struggle. The successful don't wait for chances, they prepare for them. They're already equipped to respond. Opportunity rewards the ready. Many people think opportunities are rare, but they're not. They appear every day, sometimes as whispers, sometimes as passing moments. The problem is, most people are too distracted or disorganized to notice them. Even when they do see them, they often aren't ready to take action. Why? Because they didn't plan ahead. They didn't create the space in their schedule or develop the skills they would need to say yes when the time came. Would you be ready? If the opportunity you've been dreaming of appeared tomorrow, would you be ready to take it? Could you confidently say, yes, I've prepared for this? Or would you ask for more time to get ready? Here's the truth. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your preparation. Preparation doesn't happen by accident. It requires intention, time, daily effort. Preparation builds confidence by preparing in advance. Through quiet, consistent effort you build confidence. And confidence is attractive to opportunity. When you're prepared, you move differently. You don't second guess. You don't scramble. You act with clarity and strength. Life tends to open doors for those who are already walking toward them. But if you're unprepared, you'll hesitate and let those chances slip away. The cost of unpreparedness, you don't want to miss out on something you've worked for, just because you didn't take the time to build the capacity to handle it. Preparation creates momentum. Momentum attracts new possibilities. That's why it's critical to start now, before the opportunity arrives. Block the time. Practice in silence. Improve your skills. Do the work when no one's clapping, and trust that the right moment will come. Plan your life or react to someone. Elsher says simple principle that can change your direction. If you don't plan your life, someone else will. And what do they have planned for you? Likely, not much. Every day, there are demands on your time, emails, texts, meetings, distractions. If you don't set your own path, your day will be taken over by other people's priorities. Be the architect of your time. So ask yourself, who controls your calendar? Who decides where your time goes and how your energy is spent? You don't answer that question intentionally, life will decide for you. And that usually means living in reaction mode. Many people aren't living by design, they're just responding to whatever shows up. They stay busy, but not productive. Don't drift, as every minute that you don't plan is an open door for someone else to step into. People will fill your time, drain your energy, and leave you wondering where your day went. That's why you must become the architect of your life. You can either shape your future or be shaped by others. Planning may feel small in the moment, but it has a huge impact long term. Start with a simple blueprint. Think about a builder on an empty plot of land. Does the builder just start hammering wood at random? Of course not. First, they get a blueprint. Building without a plan is chaotic and costly. Same goes for your life. You need a plan that starts with your goals, your calendar, and your schedule. If you're not sure what you want yet, then start by planning to avoid distractions and grow steadily. When you don't, you follow. Set aside time each week. Sunday evening or Monday morning works well, and make it sacred.
Grab your
Planner and think, what truly matters this week? Block time for it. When your calendar reflects your priorities, there's less room for chaos. You bend, but you don't break. Life will challenge you. Some days will feel overwhelming, but here's the truth. Bending under pressure doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're still standing. The key to standing stronger every day is having a plan. People respect those who have structure in their lives. A plan makes you more confident, more focused, more dependably, and it saves everyone's time, especially your own. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. You can't predict every storm, but you can prepare your boat. In this case, your boat is your schedule. The anchor is your plan, and the wind, that's opportunity. But wind only helps the ones who are steering. If you feel lost, overwhelmed, or stuck, it's time to grab the wheel and take back control of your time. Because if you don't plan your life, someone else will plan it for you. A person without a plan often ends up serving the plan of someone who does. If something matters, don't leave it to chance. Put it on your calendar. Schedule it. Your calendar should speak for you. Now here's a question that may surprise you. If I looked at your calendar today, what would it tell me about your life? Because your calendar is more than just dates. And reminders, it's a reflection of your values. It shows what you care about, how you spend your time, and where you're headed. Your schedule is a mirror of your habits. It silently reveals your priorities. When someone sees your calendar, they should see clarity. They should understand what you're building. Anyone can talk about goals, but your calendar proves whether you're truly living by them. You either see focus or you see chaos. You either see progress or just noise. People notice when your actions align with your vision. They can sense it in the way you move, speak, and lead. It all begins with what's scheduled. A powerful life leaves evidence. Here's a principle to remember. A powerful life is a planned life, and a planned life leaves evidence on your calendar. Someone might say, I have good intentions. That's a start, but it's not enough. Good intentions without a plan are like a car without a steering wheel. You may have fuel, but you'll still end up lost. Translate your intentions into action. Block time for what matters: learning, thinking, relationships, health, creativity. And rest. If it's important, don't let it stay invisible. Let your schedule make it obvious. Let it show others. This is a person who is serious, intentional, and building something that matters. I'm not suggesting you pack every minute of every day. Goal isn't to be busy, it's to be intentional. There's a big difference. Between a calendar filled with reactions and one filled with priorities, a reactive calendar feels rushed and exhausting. A bold calendar feels focused and meaningful, protects your energy, and highlights your most important work. When you start showing others your calendar, your real plan, something shifts. People respect what you're committed to, not what you say you care about. Your calendar becomes proof of your discipline. What does your calendar say about you? Here's a challenge. Open your planner and imagine someone else is reviewing it. Would they say you're building a meaningful life? Or would they say you're just trying to get through the week? If you don't like the answer, don't worry, you can change it. Start small. Add one block of time that represents who you want to become, and do it again tomorrow. That's how change begins. Let your calendar speak for you. Let it echo your purpose. Let it reflect your priorities without you having to explain anything. When someone asks, "What are you working on?" you don't have to say a word. Just show them your schedule, because if it's scheduled, it's real. And if it's not on there, probably never really mattered. Mornings matter. Start with intention. Let's talk about how you start your day. Mornings are important, but you can't have both. Mornings are the front door to your life. If that door is messy, rushed, or disorganized, don't be surprised. If the rest of your day feels the same, most people don't design their mornings. They let the day happen to them. The alarm goes off, and they immediately check their phones, scroll, and react. Before they've even had a quiet moment, they've already given their attention away. You can't build a meaningful life if your first act every day is to surrender your focus. So here's a new rule. You either win the morning or the morning wins you. Start with purpose. Take a moment to reflect, plan, and decide this day belongs to me. I'm going to use it well. You don't need a 5-hour morning routine. Just 15 minutes of structured intention can change your entire day. Why? Because mornings build momentum. When you start right, you think more clearly, move more efficiently, and handle challenges with confidence. Want to change your life? Don't start with a new year. Start with the first hour of your day. Wake up a little earlier before the noise begins. Give yourself time to focus. Here's a simple formula. Quiet, fuel, plan, action. Start with quiet, reflect, read, or pray. Then fuel, hydrate, and nourish your body. Then plan, review your top priorities, and clarify your goals. And finally, take one small step that reflects who you want to become. If you think, "I'm not a morning person," ask yourself, "I a purpose-driven person?" Because if you live with purpose, you won't leave your mornings to chance. You don't have to wake up at 4 a.m., but you do need to take ownership of how your day begins. Sunday night, the most important meeting of the week there. That's one more tool that can completely change how you lead your life. The Sunday night meeting. Not with your team, not with your boss, but with yourself. Take 15 minutes every Sunday night. Sit down with your planner. No distractions. Reflect on the past week. Ask yourself, what matters this week? What's already scheduled? What needs to be added or protected? Clarify the chaos. Decide what you will say yes to and what you will say no to. Choose time for rest, growth, family, health, and creative work before Monday morning shows up with its demands. Because if you don't fill your week with your priorities, it will fill itself with everyone else's. Ask yourself, what are my top 3 priorities this week? What's already scheduled? What kind of person do I want to become this weekend? How does my schedule reflect that? You're not just planning tasks, you're planning identity. Not just filling time, but shaping your future. A clear 15-minute review on Sunday can save you hours of stress during the week. It's that quiet planning moment. That's where progress begins. It's where leaders are made. Planning with vision with. Talked about time, calendars, routines, and structure. None of it matters without one final piece vision. You need to know where you're going. Planning without vision is just being busy. But planning with vision turns your time into purpose. Vision helps you organize your days around what matters. Your calendar becomes a map. Your schedule becomes a compass. And each time block becomes part of the life you're building. You don't want to just be busy. You want to be becoming someone focused, becoming someone who follows through, becoming someone who leads their time and energy with clarity. Here's the formula. Vision sets the destination. Planning sets the direction. Intention brings the power. You write the vision, you plan the path, and you live with intention every day. This doesn't require perfection. It won't always be easy, but it gives you a way to fight through distraction and chaos. The world will always pull you in 100 directions. But when you live with vision, you only need one, so don't leave your future to chance. Plan it. Don't hope it works out. Build it. Put your vision on paper. Put your priorities in your planner. And lead a life that reflects who you were meant to be. Be intentional. Be structured. Be focused. Because the difference between ordinary and extraordinary isn't talent or luck, it's planning. Plan with vision. Live with intention. And let your calendar do the talking. The truth is, your time is your life. Nothing more, nothing less. And every block on your calendar is either building your dream or burying it under distractions. So don't just talk about your vision, schedule it. Don't just wish for change, plan it. Because the person who leads their time leads their life. And one day, when success becomes your story, you'll look back and realize it all began the moment you took control of your calendar.